Let there be light, and there was light. Words of the said God, Mother Eve. So we are continuing our presentations on death and the number 13, because the number 13, of course, on the Rider-Waite deck, card is 13, it's death. And not only that, we see that in the scriptures where we hear of He as God, God is in this sense 13. So, where it is said, God made man in His own image and likeness, in the image of He, Him, and so on. This He we are talking about here, He is 8 plus 5 equals 13. So, this 13 here, or 13, we see is the it is pinnacle in the story of Jesus Christ having 12 disciples and him at the Last Supper. So there were 13 people at the Last Supper. I know I'm repeating this, but when Christ said to the disciples, whenever you break bread, of course, bread, bread, is 29515. Adding this together, this is 20, 22. I think it should be 21. Let's just look at this again. So this is 29514. Okay, so this is 10, 21. 21, as I say, really is very important, or it seemed to serve like a very high vibration to getting things into manifestation. 21, as they say, it you make a habit or break a habit, or you form a habit. And it's perhaps no wonder why Christ told the disciples, whenever you break of the bread, do this in remembrance of me. So there was a habit that began at that time, which is still being practiced today. So there was also another thing that had a 21 vibration. We had the bread. The word break, I think, is to break bread. Let's see. It has similar words as well. We have the E and the A here as well, or the R-E-A, meaning R-E-A in the middle of bread, and break is EAR. There's an A in there, so we could see that when you eat, because it didn't say slice or cut bread, break bread, meaning there is a sound. This is meant to generate a sound, or to serve as a cue that goes in the middle of the heart, Heart. So we can see that people are practicing these things, these rituals, and I'm not sure that there's an understanding about the mathematical construct that has gone in, or the conditioning of the words, the vibrations that have been collated to really get these conditions or habits continuing. So the hair in the middle of the heart, and it's also in the earth, because EARTH, this would be H, hair. So you would have the break bread, because this is also often used like you don't have so much of the drink of the wine, but break bread, it's like there's a new cycle happening there, a new thing is happening. Break bread. Okay, so I think you get the essence of that here now on this part. So with the number 13, as I say, that was part of it. And then drink wine, DRINK, wine. Wine is also 24, which takes us as well, because that's 10, that is 24. Okay, in case you are new to this, I would urge that you watch an introduction to Crime a Queen, because I'm not really I'm wanting to convey the message here. So this is 5955. Adding this together would give us 24. So basically, you can watch an introduction to Crime a Queen, or templates or numerology, templates to numerology by Crime a Queen, or anything else on that subject on YouTube. So 24, and then we have, so we have in here, we also have in here, we also have ink right here as well. These are words that that are very pinnacle. When something is written, it means that it is very profound. Okay, I'm just looking at this could also be seen as mine if that was turned upside down, the W, because W is very dynamic. It is that letter, that is also the number, that is M, that is free, that is E and W. So we can see that that is really like mine, and so on. But this is very dynamic. No wonder when one drinks wine, they can turn all over in any of these directions. Okay, or they may feel their head spinning. Um, so let's see, looking at 13 as well, because that's what we really, really want to do. So Christ at the table with the 13 disciples. Now I've written a little part of a verse here, because that's the verse that seemed to be responsible for all this learnings that we are seeking, and all the misunderstanding as well, of how or what we are meant to do, or purpose and so on. Let's take off bread. There's many more words with bread. I meant to get the numerical value for break. So there are two B's here. That's something else for us to pay attention to. And we will see that with B, the letter B is also indicative of the 12 at the table with Christ, the Last Supper. Meaning B, the letter B has everything in it already. These letters or words are just extensions of meanings, or extensions, or to make this snake-like, the snake-like learning for us. Okay, so when Christ said to his disciples, whenever you do this, do it in remembrance of me, break bread and drink wine, there had to be an agreement. There had to be the unequal par. So this, the sign equal is like this, we know that. Apart from that, it also equals 2. So we can see 2 lines here. So there we are, 1, 2, and that forms the bond. This is, I wasn't there, I don't know how this, but I will really say this is what it really means, because it, all this correlation. So this is the B here that forms the bond, and there we see that the agreement was a bond. They formed a bond right here. And the same, of course, this is why bread perhaps is so prevalent in our society. So bread, of course, has such depth and such meaning and such vibration. Again, it is 21, but because it has been used in such a profound way, the cycle, each time it gets broken, it reignites. So break bread, each time you do it in remembrance. The word remembrance in itself would be another gel that would connect that continuity of this ritual. So let's look at 13. 13 is, so we know that there were 13, the Last Supper, Christ, of course, there were 12 remaining. Not so much 12, because then there was Judas in the story that, so meaning there were 11. 11 left. This, we would just put it this way. So 11, would we know 11 as the master number, and that's why we see 11 as well, is that which is the number of execution, we could say, because there's a 911 in the word 11. Okay, let's look at 13. We see 13 is like the he god, and there were two he gods, excuse me, meaning 26. 2 plus 6 is also 8. And if we do the numerical value for the word 8, let's do it here, EIGHT. We're just going over this, really getting this cemented in our minds. So this is 5, 9, 7, 8, 2. So this is 10, 19, 26, 31. 31. Okay, I want to do something with 31 as well. So let's leave 31 here for now. 31 is mirrors 13. This is something we want to see. So 8, of course, in the scripture where the God who created, he created he, him, and he, them. There were two he's in that verse. And wishing, maybe I will give you the reference on the other presentation. So let's look at the word 13, which is 8, 9, 9, 2, 5, 5, 5. There's Mother Eve with the 5s. Okay, so this is 10, this is 17, this is 26, this is 30, 26, this is 35, 45. 45, yes, 45. Okay, 4 plus 5 equals 9. So we can see the journey right here, meaning 13 is like the incubator. Of course, they formed an agreement, and the 12 was in the agreement, the 12 disciples, of course. Judas, we are told, hanged himself. Of course, 12 is very important because we see 12 also mirrors 21 for the bread, because the bread, and there was something else that I have done before that also equals 21. So but 21 mirrored the 12 disciples right here. And after Judas hanged himself, then 11 remained. The word 11 equals 9, and of course 9 equals 6, but we see 911. There is a 911 in the word 11. Okay. Now there's what I also want to show. You can see that I've got this sentence here. So I also want to show, well, perhaps we could do a little bit more on 45 and 9 to see what correlations that we can get there. Four to 5 sounds like 4 to 5. Okay, meaning there is a message here on our sacrifice template that's telling us about something. 4 to 5, which is two nines. The R is 9 and the I is 9 as well. 45, and we can see the R has a 9 numerical value, likewise as the 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. That would also give us 9. So we can see the correlation here. So 4 to 5, 4, F-O-R-T-Y, 40. 5 is 24. I've done this several times, so I'm not going to go through this. 24, which is 6. 40 is 6, 6, 9, 2, 7. 9 and 9, 18. 3 9s, 27, 28, 29, 30. So this would be 30. And we see this is the beauty about all this. and we see the power of 13 here. This is the power of 13 to bring about a new cycle of life. It brings about a new cycle of life altogether. It's not, it contains everything. So 13 has the life and death in it as well. So we did have life and death equals 7, and of course life is 5 and 7, death is 20. But if we were to do 20 equals 8. Let's just do this here. Death is 20 because we are talking about death. So 20 is 2, 5, 5, 5, 2, 7. So this is 15, 17, 19, 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. So 20 is 8, and life, of course, 5. So if we did, so life and death is actually, death is 20. As we said, we have done death, and life is 5. So there we have 5. We can just do this. So plus 6 equals 6 plus 8 equals 14. Now this is where we have the 14 gods. 1 plus 4 equals 5. It's Mother Eve right here. So Mother Eve, as we see, this is why it is said, and everything God made and created, he saw it was good. The word good equals 5. Basically, we are calling life and death 14. So the gods are life and death. They constitute, 14 constitute the 14, naturally, the 14 gods. But Mother Eve, EVE, EVE is 5, 4, 5. That equals 14. So basically, we can see the strong correlation happening right here. And if we did the numerical value as well for the word 8, like we have done, we have got 8 here, but when we do the numerical value for 8, as we have found here, it gives us 31, which mirrors, as I say, 13. It mirrors 13. And so it's important that we pay attention to this. If we were to take in turn, of course, we've done, so just to really get this clear, let's rewrite this in a way that makes sense. Let's get some contrast. So we have okay, this one's dry. So we saw life and death. It's another, we don't want and, it's life, death. Okay, so life equals 5, and death, just to make sure I've got space, equals 20. Okay, let's see if there was another way, just to make sure we are doing this fair. So, well, we couldn't do anything else with this. We have 2. We could say, we could write 2 this way, because life is, death is 2. Let's do it this way as well. And 5 and 5. There's another way of to do it. So 5 equals 24, which is 6. And 2 equals 13. We can see the power of 2. This is what I mean when Christ was recruiting his disciples as well. That exercise in itself was on a strong vibration of bonding, of connection, of unity. This is so profound. This is the incubator. So every time they were in twos, or they were the 2 brothers, or the 2 bees, in fact, already, I think there were 2 sets of brothers. So we can see, it's funny, there should be two sets of brothers, and there were also two sets of he in the text where God created man in his own image and likeness. He created he, him, and he, them. So there were two he's there, and there are two twos here. Okay. So we have this. This is another way of doing what I've just done. So we see the power of two, and as I said, that forms a bond. And so we could add 6 plus 4, which gives us 10. 10 really is 12. So this is 2, 5, 5 gives us 12. Or we could also have 12, which has Mother Eve in there. We can't escape Mother Eve. We don't want to anyway. 5, 3, 4, 5. Let's add this together. 10, 15, 22, 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So we can see Mother Eve's spell is right here with this 12. Mother Eve has 12, but it's like when she says, let there be light, and there was light. This is the text, that the third verse of the scriptures, that really brings life into motion or brings about creation. So we have 24, let there be light, and there was light. But each of the four, so they are 8 words, and this in itself tells us that there were 2 sets of 4 words. Let there be light, 4, and there was light, another 4. And of course, if we did add this, it would be 6. 6, of course, the word 6 gives us 7, and so on, and back to 2. Okay, it takes us back to 2 to show us the power of 2, the power of death. Okay. I want to go back to doing like we did before with this. So we saw life. Here's the other way of looking at it. We all, of course, did pay attention to the word it here, and we did pay attention to the word if in the middle. So we've done this in another presentation. So we saw that was 2. Let's see, or could it be 11? This is 10, 19, 20. It's 20. Okay, so 2 plus 5 is 7. So we saw, I feel I have lost the trail that I was presenting, or I did present before, with 13 and life and death. Or was it good and evil? I think I did do good and evil and not life and death. Let's look at this. Okay, so we have 7 is actually 20, but that also shows us life and death. Adding this together gives us 7, which gives us another 2 here, shows us the power of 2. Again, let's see how the power of 2 plays out here. The power of 2 is right here. This is where the bucket or the basket at the Last Supper was. That equals 6 when we add these 3 the 3 letters together. But we see 2 is right here. And this is where agreements were formed. This is where Christ was at the table, and it's no wonder we have that one here as well before to really show, well, there were 12 disciples, we could say. Okay, and we see this is what is being presented here. And so, yes, I feel with 9 or for 13, I may have been looking at good and evil as well. So let's just try and encapsulate this, because these are the things that really brought all this about. So evil, we have looked at evil. Evil is 3, and 3 of course has a numerical value. The word 3 has a numerical value of 11. So we can see 11 has in it the 911. It's no wonder we have 3 as the magic number. And good, of course, which is 5. And if we did the numerical value for the word 5, is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So 6 plus 2 is 8. So there we see Mother Eve ate of the fruit. This is 8. So evil and good. Another way of looking at this too, which is even simpler, we have 4 letters here and 4 letters here. 4 plus 4 equals 8. This is Mother Eve's showing the creativity right here, because it's the fruit of knowledge and the fruit of good and evil. So we are being taught this wisdom to really see where we're at. Okay, and so we have 3 and 5. Of course, we know is 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. But when we add these in the number form as well, we also end up with 8. So this is really wonderful here. This is magical, because 5 equals 24 plus this 2 plus 4 is 6, and 3 equals 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have 8. I'm glad I did this. It's really showing so much. There's so much evidence to show that basically the story that we have been taught is really a kindergarten version of what we are meant to have to help us understand that the eating of the fruit is really the dying. It's like there's a cycle here. The 8 is a cycle. Mother Eve is teaching us how to eat of that flesh, eat of that seed, or the fruit has its seed in it, and of course the seed is what comes alive as well. It's really about the kundalini. It's really about being enlightened. It's about rebirth. It's about newness and new life. So life we see is 5, as well as we see the 5 senses. Even we have our on the face, we have 5 circles, and these 5 circles, it's as if they are there to remind us. So we have the open circles, the nostrils, the eyes, and the mouth. This is 5 right there. And then we have, as we have with death, and though isn't it amazing as well, we use the word death for the S. So basically, as we have seen, the word death, DEAF as well, so would represent the 2 here. So death, as we have here, it's really representing the airs. So we have life for the 5 circles here, and death we could say for the air. So never mind the spelling, but that's what happens here. It's like, oh, I could hear my voice changing. So, and okay, so we would have death. Let's see what that would be. So this is 6 and 4, 10, and this would be 15, 16. So that would be 7. And this, if we added these 2 together, that would be 12. So we can see we are still, the 12 is still giving us 8, which is a cycle. It's telling us about the cycle. If we added these together, 12, because isn't the air here, when we speak of being deaf, in the air, isn't that what we use to plant words? We plant words in the air, and the air, as I say, is really in the heart. HEART. or in the earth, which is synonymous. We throw words. This is why it's so important that we pay attention to what we speak, and because our words have vibration, and we throw them up in the earth, and of course they get planted. So it's very important we know what we are saying and choosing our words carefully. So I feel that this is quite insightful, but do join me again, because we want to understand the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and let's see that that would give us the root of where, well, we are getting closer to the bone of the truth, so to speak. Thank you for watching.